All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another FTL tier list. This is the FTL Blue Options tier list. You guys have asked for it over and over, so I spent about 3+ hours of my real life compiling and scrounging the wiki to put together this mega list of every single blue event that is in FTL Faster Than Light, and we are going to be ranking them based on how good they are and how helpful they are to your run as a reward, right? Now, most of the blue events are a net positive, right? And they are always good, right? As you can see, the last tier here actually hurts you. There are a few that are just outright negative, and this will be good to get out on the, in the universe so you guys can see what to avoid. But overall, they're all pretty good. We're just going to be kind of ranking them on this criteria here on the left. Exceptionally good. They give you a ton of rewards, right? Pretty good. They give you medium amount of rewards, but nice. Decent is like, they're not that helpful, but they are good, right? Functionally useless, there are some that are really just not that helpful. And then there are a very small amount that actually do hurt you. Just there's no net positive. So, in a moment we will be getting started. Real quick, let's go over what you are seeing down here. Because as you can see, there's a lot of funky colors and there's a lot of words. So the way I did this is I organized them into, based on color, what type of item or whatever you need to get this blue event. So starting off with the blue color, that means you need an augment, okay? The green color means you need a specific type of crew. The black augment means you need, the black color means you need a specific type of drone. Purple, a specific system or subsystem. And red, a specific type of weapon. So I did that so it's a little bit more clear. And then you may also notice there are parentheses words. So the way this works, Asteroid Mining Colony, there's only one possible blue event for this event. And we'll get to whatever weapon it is when we get there, right? But there's no confusion. However, something like Malfunctioning Defense System here has an ion. This is the ion weapon blue event. Some events have multiple blue options to pick from, and they give you different rewards most of the time. So, for example, you can pick the ion weapon, right, for this event. You can also pick, like, your NG to shut it down, and they'll give you different rewards. So a lot of these events are on here multiple times because they have different rewards for different weapons or crew, whatever. So this website, FTL, or whatever it's called, Tier Maker, actually kind of ruined my order. I had it in a nice order. So we're going to start with the blue ones. Everything else looks pretty much okay. I don't know why it just jumbled it up like this, but we're going to start with this. I have the wiki open because I absolutely do not remember what every blue event does in the game. And we are just going to be going through that as we get to each event and hopefully rank these events, man. So, starting off, we're going to be going in complete order here with the blue options. Our first one is the Civilian FTL Haywire Escort right here. Now, I'm just going to pop it in decent tier for now while we look at it. So, this event, the only thing you can do is use your advanced FTL navigation if you have that specific augment, and it will yield a high amount of scrap and resources, which is pretty good. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quickly, unless there are more interesting ones. That's pretty much all it does. You can, it's a pretty niche one, but the rewards you get, exceptionally good, right? They're high amount of scrap and resources. Love to see it. All right. Next up, we have the Crystalline Research Facility, which is somewhere here. Not this. I hate that this website ruined everything for me. Where is it? It appears to be nowhere to be found. Huh. Oh, here it is. Okay, nice. I don't know why it took me so long. Okay, so the Crystalline Research Facility using the backup DNA bank. As you can see, there's other things you can do here, but if you have the backup DNA bank, that will allow you to receive a medium amount of scrap and a weapon if you send your crew's data over with the DNA bank, which is okay. It's pretty good, right? It doesn't give you a weapon or like something like that. And generally any reward that is more than just scrap or resources is going to be really, really good. If you get a weapon, you get a drone, you get a crewmate, I value those pretty highly. So we'll put that in pretty good just because it's only a medium amount. Oh, actually, never mind. I take that back. It says a medium amount of scrap and a weapon. Welcome to exceptionally good. That's actually really good and kind of what I was going for with that. Now, obviously, this only occurs in the hidden crystal worlds, so it's a pretty rare one to get to begin with. But if you do get to the crystal worlds, you know, you'll love to see it. All right, next up is the Zoltan Research Facility, which we will be seeing a couple times for sure, because we all know that event, and we do love it. Where is it? Ugh, this stupid website, man. NG Research Station is here. Drifting Debris Rebel Ship. Here we go. Zoltan Research Facility Damage Stasis Pod. So this is the one that actually lets you get into the crystal sector. If you bring them the Damage Stasis Pod, you will receive one crystal crew member named Ruin, of course, our classic homie, and a quest marker in a rock homeworlds. So assuming you keep them alive, that actually lets you get to the secret crystal sector. And getting the crystal crew member by default, as well as a potential for a whole nother free sector, is another just exceptionally good augment. And you can get the Damage Stasis Pod relatively easily. I say relatively, obviously it's complete chance, but the event that actually gets you this is not that uncommon. So again, we're starting off real strong here, not gonna lie. These are some pretty good events. Again, most events are good, so you know, keep that in mind. Okay, on to the Distraction Buoy augment, which allows you to give, if you find the crystalline ship, messaging about rebels. Okay, which is, once we get to, oh, I spelled it shup. Well, we get the idea. Once we get through these blue ones, everything else is in order, so I won't have to search around as much. But so yeah, if you find the crystalline ship messaging about rebels, again, it's only in the hidden crystal world, so it's pretty rare. But if you have the distraction buoys to go along with it, you get a high amount of scrap, and the rebel fleet is delayed one jump. I mean, that's pretty good. The high amount of scrap is definitely nice, and the delay could be good as well. I don't really see how it's not exceptionally good. Pretty much, if something gives you like a measly reward, we'll put it in pretty good or decent. But I mean, like, I can't complain. Between a high, medium, or low, as the wiki says, a high amount of scrap is you know, pretty good, and a free delay. Welcome to exceptionally good. We're starting great here. Hopefully we'll find some that are a little less, you know, amazing. All right, next. So the unknown disease on the mining colony. If you have an NG Medbot dispersal, you can do something here. So let's find the event, which is here. No, this one here. Okay. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, put this in decent for a second. So the unknown disease is a very common event. There's a lot of options for it. NG Medbot is probably one of the rarer ones you'll get, to be honest. But if you do have that, you can use the Nano Medbots to accelerate the dispersal of the cure, which gives you a high amount of scrap and a weapon. Again, amazing, right? That's really just like the best possible outcome that you could get from a blue option. Makes me kind of want the NG Medbot dispersal a bit more, to be honest. That's really not half bad at all. Okay, again with the NG Medbot dispersal, the Federation ship in need of aid, which we just found right down here. Okay, so this one, if you have the Medbot dispersal, you can pump their ship with Nano Medbots to aid in the rescue of the Federation guys in need. So you will get a random crew member with 1 skill in shields and a high amount of fuel and scrap. Again, that's just really good. Like, this looks a bit weighted right now. There are definitely some in here that are just not quite as good. We're starting off very strong here, but it's going to be a long video, so let's buckle up, and I'm sure things will balance out over time. Don't want to spend too long on anything unless it's a really, you know, well-known one like the giant alien spiders, which we will get to. Okay, onto the life form scanner ones. So if you have a life form scanner and you find the drifting debris event, you can run additional scans and you will get a medium amount of fuel. Now, a medium amount of fuel, that's okay. You know, fuel is probably the most, well, it's definitely the most universally needed resource other than scrap. You know, missiles and drone parts you only need in certain builds. So if you don't have those, it's one thing. But fuel, always nice. I'm going to put it in pretty good. If it was missiles or something like that, I wouldn't really care. But pretty, you know, to get a medium amount of fuel. The other options are you get like medium amounts of, you know, scrap and missiles, or some other, you lose 25 to 40 scrap. There's a lot of other things that can happen there. So being able to get a guaranteed medium amount of fuel, pretty decent, I would definitely say. Okay. Lifeform Scanner Part 2, we have a Rebel Ship in Nebula. So that is... where is it? Here we go. Rebel Ship in Nebula. So using the advanced or long-range scanners or Lifeform Scanner, they do exactly the same thing. If you have either of those, you can track them, and then you get to fight a Rebel ship. And that's kind of it. You get the rewards, obviously, for beating the Rebel ship, but it doesn't give you anything for free. So I think for that, it's going to have to go in decent. It's not even like a special fight. It's just a normal Rebel ship, you know? So it's good to get the guaranteed combat from an event and not waste your jump, which is why it's decent, but it's not a guarantee to be anything really super great. So it's gonna stay in that decent tier for now. Okay, next we have the small research station with no response if you have a Lifeform Scanner. Where is that? Here we go. So you can run advanced life scans. And let's see, we're getting almost done here. Where is it? Small, here we go. Small research station. Oops, where'd it go? Here we go. Right there. So if you have the Lifeform Scanner, you can either have a chance for nothing to happen or a medium amount of scrap and resources. It's going to have to go in decent again. It's not functionally useless because there's a chance to get something good, but as you can see, 50% of the time you'll still get nothing. And looking at the wiki page, we'll get to all of them, obviously. There's a lot of other things you can use to get guaranteed items or whatever. So that'll hang out in decent for the time being. All right, now moving on to the long-range scanners. There are a lot of blue events from the list I have here. So just you know, if long-range scanners weren't good enough already, there's a lot of blue events that go along with them. So let's start off with the destroyed cargo ship. Okay. So, if you have long-range scanners or advanced sensors, but we'll get to that one later, you get the option to scan the crates or the boxes that you find. And if you scan them, you have a chance to receive 20 to 35 scrap, or a medium amount of scrap and resources, or the option to destroy the crates and fight a pirate ship, or nothing. So there's a lot of variability here, but the only way nothing happens is if you choose to let it sit. Otherwise, you have to fight the pirate ship, and that's only 1/3 of the options that can happen there. So I would say overall that's pretty good. 20 to 35 scrap is a decent amount for sure. And, you know, if you get the scrap and resources in the medium amount, that can also be good. So I think that's probably going to go in pretty good. It's not amazing. It doesn't give you a weapon or a crewmate or something like that. But let's see, where is it? Destroyed cargo ship. It's going to go in pretty good, I think. That's just a pretty good outcome, I would say, most of the time. Next up, encrypted Federation signal. Okay. So this is part of a quest, I believe. Can occur in pretty much any sector. But if you, let's see, we are on, what are we on? Yeah, long-range scanners. So right here, if you have long-range scanners, you can receive a medium amount of scrap and a weapon. Again, that is very good. Now, this looks to be a chance. So you can have, depending on the outcome of this event, you can get just other stuff, like just a high amount of scrap in a drone, a random crew member. But if you search near and it yields no results, you get the option to use your long-range scanners. And that is what gives you the weapon. So if you get in that situation, it's amazing, definitely. But there's a good chance this event you won't even get the option to use the blue event. But still, I think it's pretty good to get a weapon like that. That can be super duper helpful. So this is called Encrypted Federation Signal. It is the first one. Perfect. I'm going to put it in exceptionally good. If you get the blue event, you should probably just take it. Getting a weapon like that is really, really helpful. And if it's a Burst Laser Mark II, a Vulcan, Flak, you love to see it. Okay, next up is NG Distress Call, which has a couple different things you can do. But if you have the long-range scanners, it's a very similar story. It is part of the second part of the quest that this event, or this blue option, comes up in, is pretty much the same as the Hidden Federation base that we just did on the this event. And you get pretty much the same thing, it looks like. So, yeah, medium amount of scrap and a weapon, again, Really, really good. So that's NG Distress Call with the scanners. Boom. Easy money. Next, NG Research Station. Okay. So this is the one where you can save the crew or save the drone schematic. However, if you use the long-range scanners first, you scan the ship and you get kind of a safe play. You don't run the risk of losing anyone. And you still get to pick whether to save the NG or save the drone schematic. Allows you to kind of pick and choose what you want to do based on your current run. So I think for that, the NG Research Station with the scanners, exceptionally good again. Guaranteeing an NG crew member. You also get a little bit of scrap or a little bit of scrap and a drone. Really, really good. You know, if you don't need the drone, you can sell it. You want the NG crewmate, keep it. Good stuff. All right, next up, heavily damaged Federation ship. Here it is. Okay, so if you get to this event and you use the long-range scanners, you can pump extra power into your sensors and try to track them. This will either yield you a medium amount of scrap, which is okay, or a one random crew member. I think, although getting a crew member is amazing, in my opinion, right, when I play, having a roll for it is not as good. It's still pretty good. I'm going to put in pretty good because getting a crew is good, but having a 50-50 chance to just come out with a medium amount of scrap, still pretty good, right? But definitely not in the top S tier here. Okay. That one is done. Prepare to dock. This one has a ton of different blue options that we will find later on in the tier list. So this is the one when you're out of fuel with your distress beacon on or off, you can run into this. And they offer you a little bit of fuel. But if you use the long-range scanners, you can scan the ship. And that gives you the option to either receive 3 to 7 fuel, which is not bad, especially if you're empty, which you are if you're waiting with the distress beacon. Or they ambush you and then you have to fight them, which is okay. But it only gives the default rewards for beating the pirate ship, so it doesn't really guarantee that you get fuel. It's better, I think, to use this on this event than not, because you kind of have to do some bartering. I mean, you got to pay, right? If you use the scanners, you can get fuel for free. I think it's pretty good. Maybe I think it's just decent, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. Because having to fight the pirate ship isn't that bad, but not being able to guarantee the fuel, especially in this situation when you need it. Whereas if you don't take the blue option and you either trade, you can guarantee fuel or you can respectfully decline, and then you kind of barter a little bit more and you can get 4 to 7 fuel, right? You can risk, a couple more times to get more fuel. But yeah, I think it's decent. It's not a terrible one, but it's not the best. Okay, Rebel Ship and Nebula with these scanners. So if you have long-range scanners, they run, or they try to run, but you can catch them and fight them instead. And that's really all it does. It just allows you to fight the ship instead of, having an empty jump, which obviously is helpful. But is it that good? I think, There's going to be a lot of inconsistency on this list, by the way, for anyone watching. There's so many events, and I can't keep straight what I said for one. One of these, I'm going to say, oh, you only fight a ship. It's decent. One of them, I'm going to do like, oh, you only fight a ship. That's pretty good. And I'm sorry. It's just, I'm doing my best here. But I think guaranteeing the fight in this specific situation where, if you, in some events, you guarantee a fight, but the alternative of not taking the blue option, maybe you got free stuff, maybe there was some other option. And this one, the alternative is you just lose. You get nothing. It's just an empty beacon. So I think this has to go in pretty good because it guarantees the jump is not a fail. This is called Rebel Ship and Nebula. Oh, did I already put it up here? Or is it not here? Oh, you know what? I think I doubled these up somewhere here. Yeah, Rebel Ship and Nebula. It's the same one as we said earlier with the Lifeform scanner or long-range scanners. Yeah, technically they're different, but it's the same thing, right? So, okay. Small asteroid belt distress beacon. And I feel the same way about putting in decent. Okay. So on this one, if you have let's see, where is it? Improved long-range scanners, you can run a second pass. It's pretty much like they loop back, right? You get the events kind of link up into the secret Federation, hidden Federation base that we found with this one. So you kind of get looped back to the same thing, and I think being able to use them, you get a medium amount of scrap and resources. Oh, wait, no. No, you get the weapon. Okay, yeah, you get the weapon. There's a lot to read on these wikis. I'm trying to go quickly. Yeah, you get the medium amount of scrap and a weapon. Same deal as this one. So let's see, where is it? Small asteroid belt. Yeah, also an exceptionally good. Anytime you get a weapon, love to see it. All right, so that is long-range scanners. Now onto rock plating. This is one of the reasons I rank rock plating a little higher than titanium system casing. There are 3 events that you can get blue options for, whereas there are 0 for titanium system casing. So, dense asteroid field distress call. Now, this is actually how you unlock the Crystal Cruiser. Pretty much you will find this ship. You can search for it. There is a chance that you can find the ship. So if you go through the whole quest and you get here, you don't have rock plating, you get pretty much a 1/3 chance to find the ship that allows you to unlock the Crystal Cruiser. But if you have the rock plating, you can guarantee it, and this will allow you to actually get the stasis pod, and that puts you on the quest for the Crystal Cruiser. So it's good. I mean, in this situation, it's like a guaranteed to what you want. If you're trying to get the stasis pod and you find this event and you have rock plating, it's like pretty good because it guarantees it. So, I mean, I guess it's pretty good. It doesn't really, like, it doesn't get you, it gets you a low amount of scrap, which is, like, not that good. It gets you the damaged stasis pod, which kind of can snowball into, you know, doing more stuff down the line in this massive meta quest. But the actual in the moment, it's pretty good. Well, honestly, it's just decent. Like, you can get the damaged stasis pod, but, like, it doesn't do that much unless you get the future events or you follow through with the quest. And that's just kind of a waste, if not. And then a low amount of scrap, like, it's not bad. It's just not that good. So I'm going to put it in decent, I think, for that reason. Okay. Mantis ship adorned with rock body parts. So if you find this random event in rock controlled sector or rock homeworlds, you can use rock plating as a blue event to ram the bastards, as Subset Games so eloquently puts, which gets you the option to fight the Mantis ship with their engines disabled, which is pretty good because the alternative is you fight them just normally. So, I mean, if you have rock plating, it's like you might as well. It doesn't net you anything better. It just makes your life a little easier. So I think I'm going to put it in pretty good. Where is it here? This is Mantis ship adorned. Pretty good. Not outstanding, but makes your life easier, so can't really complain. And then finally for rock plating, we have small asteroid belt distress beacon. So if you have rock plating, you can effectively shield their ship with yours and escort them out of the field, where you get a medium amount of scrap and fuel, and that's kind of it. The alternative, if you don't do that, you know, you get some hull damage, a low amount of scrap, pretty garbage events. I mean, yeah. So I think it's pretty good. It doesn't stand out, but it's definitely pretty good. It's the best thing to pick if you're in this situation. Because yeah, a medium amount, nothing to write home about, but I'll take it. And the fuel's good, so pretty good. All right, and our last blue, aka augment-driven blue event, is the scrap recovery arm in the large asteroid field. So you get a high amount of scrap, and that's kind of it. But that event, pretty much all you get is either nothing or a high amount of fuel, medium amount of scrap and missiles, pretty much a bunch of random loot. It kind of depends. You can also take hull damage, so it's a hit or miss. But with this, getting a high amount of scrap is definitely pretty helpful. I don't know if it's exceptionally good. Like, it's just scrap, which is helpful, but like you don't get anything that could drastically change your run immediately. I think it's just got to be pretty good. So okay, so that is the first bit down. Those are the augments that allow you to get blue events. We are now going to move on, I guess, to drones because we are going in order. I put the green ones next, but again, this website kind of does what it wants. So let's come back here, and on the wiki, we will find, here we go, drones. Right off the bat, we have giant alien spiders, anti-personnel drone. So if you have the anti-personnel drone, you can send your battle drone in to help, which allows you to receive a medium amount of resources and some scrap. The alternative, obviously, is that your crew like gets murdered. This is the notorious event in FTL that is never worth taking. Pretty much you just always lose one random crew member. If you get lucky, right, You can maybe get a high amount of scrap and resources, but it's never worth it. So having the anti-personnel drone is pretty good. You do lose a drone part, but a medium amount of resources and scrap is pretty good, I would say. It makes the event like super good. The problem is having an anti-personnel drone is not that common because anti-personnel drones they're okay, but like usually you use drones for other things, or you probably should. So I think there's other options for this giant alien spiders event if you have some other stuff that we'll get to a little bit later. Okay, merchants request anti-personnel drone. So this one, if you have an anti-personnel drone, you can, where is it here? Use an anti-personnel drone to investigate, where it's a role that nothing happens, you lose a drone part, or that nothing happens, you don't lose a drone part, or you receive a medium amount of scrap and resources. I think the fact that there's like a pretty much 1/3 chance that you get a reward for a blue event, and even still it's like only a medium amount, just puts it in decent. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's that good. Next, small research station with no response. So we have seen this one before, I believe. But if you have the anti-personnel drone, there is again a pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing actually. Damn. Merchants request. Did I clicked on these in the correct order, right? Let me just make sure. Yeah, you pretty much, it's the exact same thing I just described. So welcome to decent tier. Okay. Next, small, we did that. Crushed pirate with the beam drone. Perfect. I'm glad they're in order now, so it's a little easier to follow along. So if you have a beam drone, you can have your drone cut the ship out, which gives you a medium amount of scrap and resources, and you lose a drone part, which is par for the course. The alternatives are you get a low amount of scrap, 2 damage to your hull, 2 damage to a random system. Not great. Medium amount of scrap and resources. So you can get kind of the same thing. Obviously, it's a roll, but if you do this, you get guaranteed and just lose a drone part. Yeah. I think it's still decent. Like, it's good. Like, they're blue events, right? But it's like, it doesn't do anything that you can't do otherwise. You know, obviously, it guarantees a reward, but the fact that you can still get a reward without even picking it, just based on RNG, means it can't be higher than decent. Like, you know, it doesn't do anything outstanding. Okay, so onto the Rock Live mine with the beam drone. So if you use a beam drone, you can cut away the mine with a precision beam. This loses you 1 drone part and you receive a low amount of scrap. Okay. Alternatively, you can, if without a blue event, receive a medium amount of scrap, or you get the cut the wire event, which can be pretty bad. It's kind of a, again, it's a dice roll. It does guarantee, but like a low amount of scrap and losing a drone part is like very, again, it's not functionally useless. It is just decent. It's really not anything crazy. Okay, giant alien spiders with the boarding drone. So it looks like it is actually even worse than the anti-personnel drone. It gives you a low amount of scrap and resources instead of a medium amount for the anti-personnel drone. So it's even worse. It's got to go in decent. Obviously, in an RNG-based game, you can't guarantee that you're going to have one or the other of these, but this one's just better in every way if you manage to get it. Okay, not Old Moon, Odd Moon. So Odd Moon, if you go in, you can use the boarding drone to send a drone to probe the surface. You will lose 1 drone part and but receive 1 Zoltan crew member. That's pretty good. That's a good trade, honestly. Not only do I value getting free crew very highly, but getting a Zoltan is super good. So I think that having a boarding drone to be able to do this blue event is definitely pretty helpful. You don't get Zoltan for free in that many different ways, to be honest, in the game. So that's pretty good stuff right there. All right. Rebel auto ship sits dormant. If you have a combat drone, you can send a drone to distract the automated ship, which will allow you to either lose 1 drone part and access the station, or that's 2/3 of the time, 1/3 of the time, lose 1 drone part and fight a rebel auto ship. So you fight the ship, you do that. If you access the station, you can get a bunch of rewards. I mean, I'm sure you guys know, you delay the fleet, you get the sector map, nothing happens. And you can even advance the rebel fleet. So it's kind of a roll. I mean, you can get good stuff. Usually, I think, to just, in situations with these auto ships, instead of accessing their sector scans or whatever, just fight them to get the double reward most of the time. I don't know necessarily this one. Yeah, because it's around the station, so you can blow them up, and then you can access the station, and you might get some good stuff anyways, you know. So that's usually what I do. So I'm just going to put it in decent. You know, sneaking in to distracting the automated ship kind of loses you out on those rewards. Unless, obviously, you land on the 1/3 chance to actually fight it anyways. But not guaranteeing the rewards from fighting it is kind of not that good, I think. I always prefer to fight the auto scouts for that sweet, sweet double reward. Okay, small asteroid belt distress beacon with a defense drone. This will allow you to use a drone to protect their ship, which gives the possibility of your ship taking 4 hull damage, 1 damage to a random system, 1 damage with a fire to another system, and you receive a medium amount of scrap and a weapon. I mean, that's honestly not that bad. Or a quest marker is added to your map. And that quest marker is kind of the same one that lets you get to the Hidden Federation base, much like this one. And you can kind of do a whole nother bit with that. But we're not going to get too into that because the main point is the blue event here. I think that, I mean, that's okay. Taking the 4 hull damage is not that bad. Like, that's really not that much to get a scrap, medium amount of scrap and a weapon. Plus, the opportunity to maybe get a quest is pretty good. It's not exceptionally good because you do take damage, or, you know, it might not work out in the long run. But I don't think I can put it in exceptionally good. But it is pretty good. Okay, next up. Onto the hull repair drones. So if you have the damaged Lanius absorbing a jump beacon, you can use a, where is it here? Hull repair drone to help. And you receive 1 Lanius crew member. That's pretty much it. And is that exceptionally good? I mean, well, here, let me just put it down for a sec. The alternatives are, you can send them 30 scrap, which you lose 30 scrap, but you get a random augmentation or fight them. You can, yeah, you pretty much fight the ship or you lose 30 scrap, or do both. This guarantees a Lanius crew member, which are kind of nice to have in some situations. I'm not a big Lanius stan, but, you know, I respect them. I don't know. I feel like I might rather get a random augment or fight the ship. I don't know. It's kind of a hard one. I think I'm gonna put it in pretty good. I don't know. I don't think the Lanius are super duper good, and this requires you to go to a Lanius sector and then have a hull repair drone, which is kind of niche, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, next blue event. Mantis ships battle for a rock raider. So if you have a hull repair drone, you can lose 1 drone part and fight a Mantis ship. Okay. Or, that doesn't seem that good. Because you can also just fight a Mantis ship with its weapon systems level reduced by 2, depending on the event, or just fight them normally. So you pretty much just lose a drone part. Let me make sure I'm clear on that. So you can wait and attack the surviving Mantis, which means you either fight the Mantis ship with weapons reduced, or just the regular Mantis ship. Or you can use this blue event to lose a drone part and fight the Mantis ship anyways. Welcome to our first functionally useless. That just is a net negative for you. If anything, it's harder. It's easier to just take the roll on getting a disabled Mantis ship. You know, that's, yeah. Okay. Well, nice. Glad we made some use of the functional useless tier. Okay. So next up, we now have NG ship under repair. I don't know why there's a fuel there. Oh, fuel. On the wiki it says that. Okay. So NG ship needing repair. If you have a hull repair drone, you can lose a drone part and receive 4 to 6 fuel. That's not that bad. Now this occurs when you are out of fuel with your distress beacon off. So if you have, if you need fuel, which you would if you have if you're sitting around, but yeah, I mean, I'd take it. I'd trade a drone part for 4 or 6 fuel if I was out. What are the alternatives here? You can trade for the fuel. You can fight them and get some fuel. I'd probably rather just fight them. Yeah, I don't know. Because they don't really offer anything to you. They just show up and you can fight them or whatever. It's decent, I think. Like, you lose a drone part, you get the fuel guaranteed, but I think I'd rather fight them because then you can get a medium amount of fuel and scrap anyways. So it's kind of better instead of just getting the fuel. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I guess that's what I do. Okay, repair drone. Fire on small research station. So if you have a repair drone, you can send your drone into the fire, contact the survivors. You get a high amount of scrap and a drone. That is exceptionally good. To get a high amount of scrap and something you can either use or sell depending on your build, love to see it. Not much else has to be said about that. Mantis ships battle for rock freighter. So we already saw this one, right? And it was functionally useless. So what happens if you use a repair drone instead? This is a system repair drone, by the way. You lose 1 drone part and receive a high amount of scrap and resources. Okay, see, this is a little better. A high amount of scrap and resources is not bad. And it's like, you don't have to risk fighting the Mantis ship. I think it's a trade-off depending on what you're feeling, but I think this is actually pretty good. System repair drone is much better to be used instead of the whole repair drone on that one, for sure. Okay, and our last drone focused blue event, or blue option, is the small asteroid belt distress beacon with a system repair drone. So if you use a repair drone, it protects their ship, and you take, yeah, so it's kind of the same as, we had this somewhere else, right? Swear we, oh yeah, here we go, this one, right? Yeah, distress beacon. It's pretty much the same thing. It just takes you down the same path. So we're gonna put that also in pretty good. All right, and with that, we are moving on to the big one. The systems. Okay. So starting off, we have cloaking. First up, malfunctioning defense system. So this one, again, has a ton of different options for it. You can do a lot of different blue options depending on what you have. The cloaking one allows you to disable the system. Now, there's actually, if you have just cloaking, you can get a low amount of scrap and resources. If you have improved cloaking, level 2 or higher, or just level 2, you get a medium amount. If you have advanced cloaking, which is level 3, you actually get a high amount of scrap. Now, later on, I actually did split those up, but apparently I forgot this one or didn't notice. So I'm going to put this in exceptionally good. If you have, level 3 cloaking, then you get a ton of stuff. But if you don't, it's still pretty good. It's just not as good. And it's always worth to take the blue event on this event because otherwise you just take damage, maybe a little bit of rewards. So it's pretty much always better than doing the regular option. So can't not be an exceptionally good in my opinion. Okay, Mantis ship doesn't see you. So in this event, if you use cloaking, you can cloak to stay hidden. And this kind of is similar to the auto scout that I was talking about earlier, where getting away, you lose out on rewards. So I actually think this is functionally useless. It pretty much, nothing happens. You run away or you fight the Mantis ship anyways. Just fight the Mantis ship. That's what I always do. And I don't think this helps you at all. If you're dying, I guess you can run away, but come on, bro. Don't do that. And I think that's kind of going to be a theme with a lot of the cloaking blue options. Okay, Plasma Storm, automated scout cloaking. Okay, this is probably a similar story. You can use your cloaking to escape. Yeah, it doesn't hurt you, but again, you should just fight the ships. Don't try to escape from them unless you're dying. And even then, just take the L on the chin. Okay, prepare to dock cloaking. So we return to prepare to dock, the option. Pretty much the same situation. So if you scan the ship, so this is like a second level blue event. If you have no fuel and you get pulled up on by this guy again, you can, if you have the advanced scanners, you can scan their ship first to make sure they're all right. And if you scan them and it seems like they're going to ambush you, then you can use cloaking to escape. But you can't escape because you have no fuel. So you can get out of the battle, but then you're just waiting there anyway. So this is actually, again, it doesn't hurt you, but it's useless. You're going to have to fight that ship one way or the other. Or just take their fuel, whatever. But this doesn't really help you in that specific situation at all. Okay, Rebel automated ship near small space station with cloaking. Again, let's give it a look here, but yeah, so you can stealthily get past with cloaking, which lets you either investigate the station or fight an auto ship. If you investigate the station, you can get, you know, those rewards we talked about earlier, low amount of scrap, medium amount of scrap, whatever, maybe a weapon, drone. There's a lot of potentially good options there for sure. However, you can just fight the auto ship and get to the station anyways, and I would just rather do that. So the fact that this has a chance to fight the ship anyways or get past doesn't really interest me. Like, I want those rewards, man. I want that scrap from the auto ship. I don't want to skirt past them. And next we have a pretty similar event where, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same thing almost. So there we go. Stationed Rebel ship. Okay, this is our last cloaking one. So if you have cloaking, you can stay hidden. Again, welcome to Functionally Useless. Clone Bay. Welcome to the Clone Bay section. The Abandoned Space Station. If you have your Clone Bay, you can search for a surviving DNA bank, and that gives you the option to either get a random crew member or a random intruder beams aboard. That is not that good to get boarded. However, the chance for a random crew member, pretty much 2/3 of the time it looks like, is pretty good. Alternatively, you pretty much just get a low amount of scrap, or you just get super intruded on, and there's pirate ASB. So it's definitely probably worth it to always use this blue option if you have it. A low amount of scrap doesn't really interest me, and getting a random crew member is a bit more interesting. And at worst, you get boarded by one guy. Who cares? I'm gonna put it in pretty good. Getting a random crew member is always nice. It's not exceptionally good because it's not like there's more to it. You know, you're not getting an envoy or a virus NG, right? Which we will get to. But it's decent. Pretty good. Not decent. It's pretty good. Okay. Legendary Thief Kazakh Plethkilik. So this is how you unlock the Mantis Cruiser. And you actually need a Clone Bay, I believe, to get the unlock. Or Advanced Med Bay. But let's see here. Yeah, so this doesn't mean just have a Clone Bay. This means having an Advanced Clone Bay. Right? And if you manage to kill the entire crew of Kazakh Plethkilik's ship, then you can like talk to him and you get to save his life with either the Advanced Med Bay or the Clone Bay. We'll get to the Med Bay later. It's somewhere down here. But they do pretty much the same thing. And that lets you, he joins your crew, and then you actually get the Mantis Cruiser unlocked. Now, obviously, if you have it unlocked, you don't get that, but it's not all bad. You actually get a quest as well. So this is pretty good. You get a high amount of scrap, like the Mantis Fairmount. This is exceptionally good. There's really no way it's not. Yeah, you get so much stuff from that. It's kind of difficult. Unlike you can do, for example, there's a couple ship unlock events I still do. Like the stealth ship is a good quest to do. This one's kind of harder just because you need a lot of stuff. And you need to have boarding or like fire beam or something to kill the crew in order to even get this option. But if you do get it, it's exceptionally good. It really is. Okay, Nebula Scene Ships Exchange Fire. Okay, so this event, again with the Clone Bay, if you find the survivor and assist him, then you can use the Clone Bay to try to clone them before it's too late, where you will get a random crew member. Pretty good, I would say. Again, not exceptionally good. I do value getting crew, but like compared to this thing, or like just getting a high amount of scrap and a weapon, you know, even though these are kind of different levels, they're still both exceptionally good. This is still just pretty good. Getting one crewmate and that's it is good, but nothing to write home about. Okay, single life form on Moon. I love this event, by the way. So on this one, you can either have two options based on the dialogue you get. if you find a colony, that means that you are always going to be safe taking this guy. It'll be Charlie, and he'll be have a random skill, right? Or if you find a man living alone in a cave, that's the dicey one. And that one can maybe flip out on you and kill you. So if you have a clone bay, you can quickly register him into the clone bay. And that way he will die, but then he'll be resurrected, and you get a Charlie again. So it's kind of the same. It's pretty good. You get a free crew, right? Nothing too crazy. Plus, but yeah, yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's definitely pretty good to get a crewmate like that. And he already comes with one skill, so that's super nice. Okay, on to the doors upgrades. Orbiting a small platform. So if you have blast doors, you can seal the blast doors, which allows you to get 5 fuel. Okay. That's pretty good, because I usually just dock with this willy-nilly, and usually you can get fuel. You can also get blown up a little bit. But I think that's pretty good as well. To guarantee this event really only has one reward, is X amount of fuel with the chance of taking hull damage. So if you have the blast doors, you can, you know, get free fuel, which is all you ever really hope to get from this anyways, so it's pretty good. 5 fuel is not insane, but pretty good. All right, refueling platform, garbled broadcast. So this is in an abandoned sector event. You can fight the Lania ship there, or if you signal for a refuel, you get some fuel, and you can actually use your you can use your blast doors instead of signaling them, which lets you get 5 fuel again. It's pretty good, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of the same deal, to be honest. It's a similar event for sure. Getting 3 to 5 fuel with some risks involved, or getting a guaranteed 5 fuel again, pretty good. Love to see it. All right, crystalline cache. This is an engines upgrade. If you have advanced engines, where is it here? You can receive a low amount of scrap and resources and a random weapon. I think that's exceptionally good. The low amount is not amazing. We've had events where you get high amount of scrap and a weapon, but this gives you resources as well, which can be nice. And I think getting a weapon is one of the best things to possibly get from any event, because it just allows you to, like, if you get something broken, like, then hell yeah, it's amazing. So I think for that, anything that gives you a weapon, especially plus other stuff at all, has to be exceptionally good. Okay, pirate slaver. So this one, if you have engines, you can attempt to outrun them, where you either fight the slavers, or 2/3 of the time you just get away. Again, it's kind of the same story. Don't run from things, especially because this event you can fight them, either get the rewards, or maybe they'll surrender, give you a crew. Don't run from them. Plasma storm automated scout with advanced engines is kind of the same story. Nope, don't care. Don't care. Stationed rebel ship. Let's give it a look here. I have a feeling it may be a similar. Yeah. So that requires level 4 engines, which is not that high, but it lets you run away. Don't care. Okay, Rock Live Mine. We return to this event. This is the one with the cutting the wires and stuff. If you have improved engines, you can just leave. So, I mean, I guess it could be like your alternative is to try to defuse it, I guess. But I don't know. Cutting the wire, you take some hull damage. Oh, you do lose a crew member, actually, which is pretty bad. Although you can evasive maneuvers. Well, so here's the catch with this event. If you don't use the improved engines here, you have to cut a wire. You have to pick a wire to cut, red or blue, which pretty much has like a 50% chance to just lose a crewmate, as well as take like a shit ton of damage on your ship. Pretty bad. However, there's other blue events in there. Once you're cutting the wire, or you can choose to cut the wire, you can do other stuff. Now, obviously, we can't put that in here. So I think actually, now that I'm looking at it more, having the option to, assuming you don't have a missile weapon or beam drone, which is what the other 2 options are, this is actually decent because it allows you to not guarantee lose a crew. It's not guaranteed, but the chance to lose a crew is always super scary. So being able to avoid that, it's kind of like the alien spiders, right? It's kind of the... It doesn't get you anything, but it actually does kind of help you not lose people, which is decent. Okay, on to hacking. There are a ton of hacking ones. We're making progress. We're getting there. Oops. Okay. So, just want to make sure my we're capturing all of this this massive tier list here. Okay, dangerous looking ship. With the hacking, you can, let's see, counter any hack attempt, which, yeah, pretty much prevents them from hacking you. This is the one where they give you the stupid option, like, what do you want to lose, shields, auction, or weapons? And you can pick, or you can counter the remote hacking. So I think that's really good. You get a high amount of scrap and resources and everything, so I think it's pretty good. Doesn't stand out, but it helps that fight quite a bit. Okay, hostile automated ship detected. If you have simple hacking, yeah, see, I have it here. I did not have it for the other one, but we're good now. If you have weak hacking, it allows you to lose a drone part and fight a rebel auto ship with a planet-side battery firing at either ship. Interesting. Or you can lose a drone part with the advanced hacking, where the ASB only fires at the enemy ship. So obviously this is better, right? I'm gonna put this in pretty good. I think I'm gonna put them in both in pretty good. Yes, this one is like better in every way, but in the context of what's happening, I would definitely take either. Like, it helps you quite a bit, because otherwise the ASB just fires only at your ship, which is obviously not good. Okay, let me take some tea here. A lot of blue events. Human borders with your sensors jammed. So if you have a hacking system, you are attacked by 3 to 5 human borders instead of 3 to 5 human borders while your sensor system is disabled. That's not really, like, it's helpful. It's a net positive, so I can't put it in useless. But, like, it's not that good. You don't really need sensors. You can see where enemies are pretty easily by what doors or what system they're hitting. So it doesn't really matter. But, like, if you have it, it doesn't cost anything, so it can't be useless, I guess, right? Okay. Merchant with conspicuous markings of a pirate. So if you... Right, so they act kind of sus. This is a random event in a nebula, slug-controlled or home nebula. If you use hacking, you can disable their weapon system where you get a low amount of scrap. There are a lot of other alternatives. If you dock with the ship, you know, he can get you some deals. And then you can get blown up, and there's a bunch of random stuff. Mostly you get drone upgrades or drone schematics or drone parts, which could be okay. But getting a low, I don't know. I think it's decent. It's a safe option, right? Which is good, but it doesn't really get you that much, like, other than safety. So depending on how strong you are as a ship, I might not even do this. I might just fight them or something like that. Because getting a pirate ship blown up tends to get you pretty rewards. Probably more than low scrap anyways. Okay, pirate engine hack. So if you run into this event, you can counter the remote hacking, which lets you fight the pirate ship without your engines being limited to 1 power and instead having your hacking system offline. I mean, in the context of the event, it's pretty good. Having your engines limited so much is a pain in the ass, and having your hacking offline is not that bad. So I think it's probably worth doing this almost every time, I would say, depending on what weapons I guess the enemy has. Okay, Rebel AI Scout carrying shield virus. So if you have hacking, you can again counter the remote hacking. That way you don't lose your shields. This one is much worse to have your shields cut, depending on what type of weaponry the drone has. So just having your hacking offline is not so bad. So I think this is also pretty good. I would pretty much always do it, I imagine. Okay, next step. Rebel auto ship sits dormant. So you have hacking. You can hack into the station. You lose a drone part, but you get the sector map, and the rebel fleet is delayed by 1 jump. Pretty good. You do have to fight the ship for it. which is fine because that gets you double rewards, and this allows you to just hack into the thing after you beat it to guarantee a reward instead of just maybe getting nothing. So this is definitely pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Next up, Rebel automated ship near small space station. Okay, so you can fight the ship. If you have hacking, you can try to hack the station to prevent an alert, which costs a drone part and allows you to go right to the ship, to the station, sorry. Also, maybe you might just fight them anyways. I think this is kind of the same story as the useless ones. I'd just rather fight them straight up, and then you get to the station anyways, so yeah, I'm okay with that. Rebel forward base on planet. So if you have simple hacking, you lose a drone part, you fight a rebel ship, and the ASB fires at either ship. It's kind of the same thing as, which one was it? One of these ones. This one? I don't remember which one that was, but it's the same. Wait, okay, now I gotta know which one it was. Rebel, AI, no, that's the shield virus. Maybe it was this one, dormant. No, I've lost it in the sea of blue events, but I think that's pretty good. It just, you know, helps you not take as much ASB damage. It costs a drone part, but... Oh yeah, here it is. Nice. It's pretty much the same as this, yeah. So they're both going to go in pretty good for the same reasons. Okay, next is Slug Disable Door System. Here we go. So if you have hacking, you can fight another slug ship with your hacking offline. The alternative is just having your doors system offline. That's not that bad. I think it's just decent. Doors, again, kind of like sensors. Like, who cares? It's not. I would rather not have them hacked, so it's not useless, right? But I don't think it moves the needle that much for you. You're kind of gonna probably be fine either way. All right, now Slug Sabotage Oxygen System is a different story. This, if you don't have this option, fighting them with your oxygen offline is a major timer for that battle. You will suffocate pretty quickly, and you probably just have to jump away. I usually don't notice because I'm a lazy ass and just skip through all the dialogue these days in base FTL. So having the hacking system to prevent that is actually pretty good in this situation. Okay. Slugs detected radiation from your medical unit. This is a pretty rare event because it's only in slug nebulas, which I don't go to that often. So if you have a hacking system, you can counter the remote hacking on your own medbay, I believe. And you are attacked by 2 slug boarders and fight a slug ship with your hacking system offline. The alternative is you just get boarded by 2 slug boarders and fight a slug ship with your medbay or clone bay offline. It could be kind of bad because you get boarded. You know, if they didn't board you, then who actually cares? But since you get boarded, having a medbay or clone bay offline could actually be kind of bad. So I think this is, again, actually pretty good in the context of this event. If you have hacking, you should always do this. There's no reason not to. You know, sometimes with these, always with these, you probably shouldn't even use the blue option, but it's pretty good in this situation. All right, and last hacking one, the NG virus. Oh, baby. So this is actually not the best option to use with the NG virus because you receive a low amount of scrap and resources and the drone reactor booster augment, which is not bad, but compared to getting, I think getting virus is way better. And you obviously need an NG for that, but low amount of scrap and resources and the drone reactor booster. I mean, you could sell the drone reactor booster. You're probably not going to use it. It's pretty niche, as you may or may not have seen in my augmentations tier list. I don't know. If there's... Well, so if you don't do anything, you have your engines and shield systems maximum power half, which is terrible. So... yeah. I think that could be pretty bad. You don't get guaranteed rewards. Or you do get guaranteed, but not guaranteed that good of rewards by doing nothing. It's probably worth doing this hacking, I think. So I'm going to put it in pretty good, actually. It's not as good as the virus one, but in comparison to what you could do without any blue events, it's way better. Definitely, I would say. Okay, so moving on to the medbay, / having an advanced medbay. Damaged space station here. Okay, so if you try to cure the disease by using the improved medbay, you need level 2 or higher. then nothing happens, which is good, kind of, because you don't lose a crew member, which is the alternative. To board the station and look for survivors, you get a low amount of scrap, or you gain a human crew member, or you lose a random crew member. A lot of variability there, and I hate losing crew so much. So I think being able to cure the disease, it's a nice safe out. But you gotta love to roll the dice, man, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather just scrap some of the debris, which is the other option, instead of boarding it for a guaranteed safe thing, instead of using the medbay to get a guaranteed safe nothing. So I'm going to put it in useless because, like, I can either choose to board it and then medbay so my crew doesn't die, or I can just not board it and scrap it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm okay with that. All right, pretty soon the list is going to be off the screen here. It's getting real close. We'll do a drive-by on everything when we're done here. But for now, we will continue. Okay, so we're back to the Legendary Thief, Kazakh Plethkilik. So this is, if you have the medbay, it does pretty much the same thing as the other one, which is up here, I think. Oh, no, it's exceptionally good, yeah. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Just a matter of whether you have a clone bay or medbay. Merchant's Request. Okay. So, let's see. With this one, if you have a medbay or an advanced medbay, you can analyze the condition of... So let's see. You receive a random crew member, prepare for a fight. You can use the advanced medbay to analyze them, which, let's see. I'm trying to decipher this. There's a lot of text here. I see. Okay. So you get another crew member then, huh? An additional crew member. I see. So this actually allows you to get 2 crew members. You get one before this, and then you get a second one, and a medium amount of scrap. I mean, I think that's exceptionally good, to be honest. I do think that's pretty decent. Plus, it means you don't have to fight off any borders. So, yeah, sure. I don't even know if I've ever encountered that event because I never really upgrade my medbay, but it's there. All right, so we're back to Nebula Scene Ships Exchange Fire. If you have, scroll down a little bit here. If you have a medbay, you can get them into the medbay and get a random crew member. Alternatively, you can make them comfortable in their final moments, allowing you to get a quest, which allows you to do a bunch more stuff. This is an interesting one because the quest is the Abadoth quest, for anyone who knows, which can get you some other stuff. Nothing crazy, though. Pretty much just fight a ship or get medium rewards. It depends what you need more, really. If you want the crew member, using the medbay is pretty good. But if you want some scrap down the line and you don't need crew, then it's not as useful to do this. I think it's still pretty good, though. Guaranteeing a crew member in this situation, I mean, it's always good. If you can, anything guaranteed is always nice. Okay, single life form on a moon. We return to this event, a fan favorite. Dun, dun, dun. Hell yeah, with this, this song coming on, too. Okay. So if you use the improved medbay, you get Charlie. Similar story to the clone bay. Where did we put that? Probably up here somewhere, right? Yes, we'll put it right next to its friend here. Like that. They're about the exact same event. Slugs detect radiation from your medical unit. Pretty sure we had this one as well with the hacking. So the hacking... Okay, so the difference between this and the hacking one is our medbay's maximum power is halved instead of completely broken. And the thing with this is I don't think anybody cares about that because in order to get this, you have to have an improved medbay. If you have an improved medbay, that means you have level 2 or higher, right? And if it's halved, you have level 1 medbay, which means it still works. So, like, who cares? This is... I mean, it's good. You should always use it if you have it, for sure. Definitely for sure. I guess... where did I put the hacking one? Right, where is it? This one. Yeah, it's about the same. It's definitely about the same. It's pretty good in the context of it. Okay, small research station with no response. If you have the advanced med bay, you need a level 3 med bay, though, not a level 2 one. You get 1 additional random crew member skilled in repair. Oh, it's like the same thing as... Which one was that? God, there's so many events in this game. Was that Merchant's Request? Yes, it was. Okay. So it's pretty much the same thing as Merchant's Request. It's like the second string of the kind of the same quest. Pretty good. Again, you get an additional crewmate and a medium amount of scrap. Love to see it. Okay, and you don't have to get boarded, which is awesome. So we are now on Unknown Disease on the mining colony again. This one, if you have there's a lot of options, but if you have the advanced medbay level 2 or higher, you get a medium amount of scrap and some resources. I see. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, if you don't have any other blue events, then it's pretty much the same as all the other options, which we will get to. But yeah, that's pretty good, I would say. All right, Zoltan Research Facility. If you have the medbay upgraded, what can you do with that? You can give them your medical records. You do need a level 3 medbay for this, though. So you get a random drone and a low amount of resources and scrap. Okay. This is the Zoltan, so you can, their study, you get a low amount of scrap or you get boarded, which is pretty rare, but it does happen. Instead of a low amount of scrap, getting drone and a low amount, yeah, it's definitely better. It's definitely way better. So I'm going to put that in pretty good. The Zoltan Research Facility is a classic event. It's almost always just a net positive. And the negative of it is not that bad. You just get to fight a ship and you get bonus from it anyways. But being able to do the advanced medbay to get a random drone, schematic, and a low amount of resources and scrap, huge. Okay, and that is done for medbay. Moving on to mind control. We are probably about halfway done with all these systems here. Then we're moving on to the others. Let's see how long we've been going. An hour already. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're gonna press onwards. This is the longest tier list I've ever done. We need to speed it up a bit. Okay. So we are on what? Black Market Weapons Trader. With mind control, you can purchase the weapon. You get a random weapon, or nothing happens. Or he just admits. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good, I guess, for the event that you're in. Instead of just losing scrap and not getting anything. So that's good. All right, Confused Mantis. With mind control, you can calm him down, which you get a medium amount of scrap and resources. Not bad. If you have a human crew, you can actually get him on your ship. So depending on what you need and what you have, but excuse me, I think that's pretty good. All right, large trade station. So let's see here. If you use mind control, you can alter the announcer's opinion. Okay, so there's 3. So you can either get a store to open, you can get medium standard rewards and a store opens, or if you have level 3, you can get high standard rewards and a store opens. So I mean, they're all good. Obviously, this is the best one, but I think they're all just pretty well. No, I think this is exceptionally good, and I think the other two are pretty good. Well, no, yeah, I think these two are pretty good, and this are exceptionally good, and I think this one is just pretty good. Okay. Next, Merchant's Request. We return again. Scroll down a bit. So, if you have mind control, where is it? Hello? You can convince him that he's being unfair. You get 40 to 55 scrap and lose 5 drone parts. If station responds, huh? It kind of depends, right? So if the station does respond, you can use the mind control. And yeah, getting 40 to 55 scrap. You do lose 5 drone parts, which is, it depends, right? If you need drone parts, that's obviously a bummer. But yeah, okay. I think I think it's decent. It kind of depends, right? If you need those drone parts, maybe you don't want to lose them. Okay, Zoltan Security Checkpoint. So this one, if you have mind control, you can get a medium amount of fuel. Alternatively, if you don't do anything, you get either nothing happening, or you lose a random crewmate, or you get attacked by boarders, and there's Zoltan boarders, and you fight a ship. Pretty much a bunch of just garbage that you don't want. So I think this is actually pretty good. I mean, yeah, just getting a medium amount of fuel is not insane, but it's better than the alternatives for the most part. All right, the only advanced oxygen upgrade or blue event is you can actually, when they hack your oxygen in that event we discussed earlier, you can have your oxygen's power only halved, which is, I mean, again, in the context of the event, pretty good. It doesn't get you anything, it just makes your life easier, so there we go. Okay, piloting. So if you have improved piloting, which is level 2, you can receive a medium amount of scrap and resources. If you have advanced, which is level 3, you get a high amount. Alternatively, you can fight them. I think to get the rewards without having to actually risk any of your hull or anything like that is well, is it exceptionally good? I mean, it's nothing like, it's just scrap and resources. You don't get a weapon or like a crew as well. So I think it's just pretty good, but it's on the high end of pretty good for sure. Okay, Plasma Storm incapacitated ships. So, let's see here. Have your pilot carefully explore the debris. This gives you either a random crew member and a low amount of scrap, a medium amount of scrap and a drone part, or a drone schematic, I believe, a low amount of scrap and a weapon, or nothing. So getting nothing obviously sucks, but I think there is so much potential for so much good stuff, especially because, like, it doesn't... The only negative is, like, nothing. The negatives, if you don't have a blue event, is either nothing or you lose a crew member, so, or you take hull damage. So I think this has got to be exceptionally good. The dice roll to get nothing is not great, but I mean, alternatively, you know, you could get way worse. So I think it's always worth, if you have this, always do the advanced piloting there. Okay, power down Lanius vessel here. Let's scroll back down. This is a random event in an abandoned sector. If you use advanced piloting, you can receive a medium amount of scrap and resources. Alternatively, you can fight them, or get a low amount. I think it's pretty good. Put it in pretty good tier. Next up, sensors. Brutal exchange between several ships. God damn it, there are so many. So many system blue events. Okay. Improved sensors, which is level 2. Medium or standard rewards, or high rewards with the advanced. Well, so the advanced sensors, you actually get either high rewards or low scrap rewards and random weapon. Both of these, well, this one is pretty good because you just get a medium standard rewards, which is good, but not crazy. This one is definitely exceptionally good if you have that level 3 sensors. Okay, where are we at? Deactivated, are we on? Yeah, deactivated Rebel Automated Scout. You can remotely scan the ship with level 3 sensors. You get a low amount of scrap and resources and a map of the current sector. Not bad. Or you get scrap and resources. You can fight the ship. Okay. I think this is... I usually don't do this. I usually like to fight them to get the double reward, because then you can just... Well, do you? Hold up. Yeah, well, maybe not. Oh, yeah. Okay. It depends. If you want the sector map, but if you're near the end of the sector, it's not as good. I'm not going to put it in functional useless. This one has a little bit more usefulness because there's no, like, station you access. It's just that you can sneak past to get the sector scans or some scrap, whatever. Not terrible. It's not useless compared to some of the other ones like that. Okay, destroyed cargo ship with sensors. So if you run... we've had this pretty much before with the long-range scanners. You can scan the boxes. Where did I put that? Oh, we're getting a lot of events here. It's blue, I believe. Here we go. Destroyed cargo ship scanners. It's the exact same thing. Right there. Okay. Next, encrypted Federation signal. It's pretty much the same thing again, I believe. Yeah, it's the exact same thing, which we put way up here because it gives you the weapon. Well, it depends, actually. Improved sensors doesn't give you the weapon. This one's just pretty good. This one gives you the weapon, just like the long-range scanners does. So that's also going to go right there. Okay. Scroll back down here. We got NG Distress Call with improved sensors. Where is that? So improved sensors, you get a second pass, which lets you get a medium amount of scrap and resources, or scrap and weapon for the advanced ones. Pretty much the exact same thing, really. Pretty much it's right here as well. Okay, nice. Moving onwards, NG Research Station. So if you have your advanced sensors, you can scan the ship, which lets you get the NG or the drone schematic again without the risk of dying or losing someone or whatever, which is right here. NG Research Station. Yeah, right here. Okay. We're getting some repeats, but I mean, I had to differentiate them. They're different, you know. Federation ship in need of aid. Same deal, pretty much. Where's it at? Improved sensors, advanced sensors. I'm pretty sure it will do the, medium amount, and then the weapon. It's the exact same thing. So this one goes pretty good. Advanced one goes exceptionally good. Where is it? Federation ship in need of aid. There we go. Okay, next. Federation Terraforming Team C12. So if you have improved sensors, you get a successful scan guaranteed. And that allows you to get your oxygen system upgraded, fight a pirate ship, which is always good, rewards, or you get bribed. And you can accept the bribe or not. And yeah, okay. Otherwise, you just have a 50-50 chance to not have anything, so this is always pretty good. Guarantees the result. Nothing special out of the way. Oh, and speaking of that, we're back to Kazakh Plethkilik, who is going to go exactly next to the other ones, which was in exceptionally good right up here. Boom. Well, actually, wait, hold up. This is a little different because these are the sensors. Okay. So it's exceptionally good because you need to have advanced sensors or teleporter to actually use the clone bay or the med bay to actually get the event completed. So if you don't have this, you can't do either of these. It's still exceptionally good because it lets you get to that. But if you know you don't have an advanced med bay or a clone bay, there's no use to doing it, right? And you can just scrap the ship for resources. But if you have either of these, then it's definitely exceptionally good. Okay, prepare to dock again. This one, let's scroll down. Sorry, I have to bring up the list here. If you have sensors, where's it at? Get the scan of the ship, and you get fuel or fight a pirate ship. Okay, pretty good. Guarantees what you need from this event because you are usually out of fuel. Okay, Rebel automated ship near sensor station. With sensors, you can get the map or you can fight the ship. But this is one where if you fight the ship, you just get to go to the station. Yeah, if you fight the ship, you get the map anyways. So I'd always take the scrap from beating the ship up. So this is going to go in useless. Rebel ship in Nebula is next. Here we go. Okay. So if you have advanced sensors, you can just fight them, get the rewards. Okay. Nice. It just guarantees it. Pretty good. Love to see it. Rebel ship nearby. Different event. Improved sensors. You get to fight the rebel ship. Advanced sensors. You fight the rebel ship whose engines are disabled. Technically, this is better, but they both do pretty much the same thing. Just makes your life a little easier, but they're not exceptional. Okay, refueling platform. If you have improved sensors, you get 1 to 3 fuel. If you have advanced sensors, you get 2 to 3 fuel and 1 to 3 drone parts. They're both pretty good. Nothing exceptional, but again, this one's better, but they're not different enough to really be ranked differently, I would say. Okay, Rock Deserters. So if you have improved sensors, you show them your data suite, and you get a Rockman crew member. It's not quite exceptionally good, because you can this is the one where you can tell them, like, their god sent you here to join their crew, which pretty much just lets you fight. Or you can share with them the truce, which gets you the Rockman crew. Potentially, that is. But this guarantees that you get the Rockman crew. However, if you don't need crew, you can just fight them and get, scrap and everything. So it's not amazing, but getting a guaranteed Rockman crew if you want that is really good to have. Okay, Slug Home Nebula Surrender. So this is actually how you unlock the Slug Cruiser. In order to do it, this event looks identical to a different event where they surrender and they're like, take what's in our stores, blah, 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 right? And if you do that, they can either give you the bio beam or add the quest, which allows you to get to the slug ship. But if you use the advanced sensors, you can maintain a lock when you get to the quest, allowing you to fight the interceptor, unlock the slug cruiser, and you get high amount of resources, slug repair gel, good stuff, right? And so for that is going to go in, honestly, exceptionally good. Being able to get a high amount of scrap and an augment as good as slug repair gel for just having advanced sensors, really good. Now, obviously, it takes a little bit to get to this, but if you get there, it's a great blue event. We're almost done with the these systems here. Small asteroid belt distress beacon with improved and advanced sensors. If you have, let's see here, improved sensors. Yep, this is the same as one of the other ones. Where is it? Small asteroid belt, boom. Oh, no, sorry. This is the improved, which is pretty good. And the advanced one is really exceptionally good because you get the weapon. Okay, now onto the teleporter. So, with the crystalline cache, if you use the teleporter, if you have an improved teleporter, nothing will happen. Because the alternative is losing a crew member, which is obviously terrible. Or you detonate your entire fuel reserves to escape with your crew in the cargo, where you get a low amount of scrap and resources, a random weapon, and lose all your fuel. This event only happens in Hidden Crystal World, so it's pretty rare. But being able to use the teleporter to safely get out is a pretty good trade-off, I think. Getting the resources and scrap on a weapon for the trade-off of literally all your fuel is not... It's like not that, depending on how good you're doing, not that good. There's just a lot that could go wrong here and stuff, so it's nice to have an easy out if you're scared. So I'll put it in decent. It's not crazy, but... Okay, Federation ship in need of aid. If you use a teleporter, you receive a random crew member with 1 skill in combat, a medium amount of scrap, and a quest marker is added to your map, which will allow you to go to the Hidden Federation base and do all that nonsense that we have already discussed. That is exceptionally good. Hell yeah. Friendly Slaver. Okay. If you use the teleporter, you receive 1 random crew member and you fight the slavers. Or you receive a random crew member and fight the slavers. Or you just fight the slavers and nothing happens. This is pretty awesome because it allows you to get the surrender deal of getting a crew member while also blowing up the ship. I think this is exceptionally good because instead of just getting 1 random free crew member, it's 1 random crew... I'm talking too much. 1 random free crew member of any race in the game, plus you still get the rewards of blowing up the ship. Pretty much either way, which is awesome. Worst case scenario, nothing happens and you have to fight them and you can maybe get rewards anyways. Good stuff. Okay, next up. Heavily damaged Federation ship. If you use the teleporter here, you receive 1 random crew member and a medium amount of scrap. That's pretty good. Is it exceptional? I don't know. The medium amount of scrap is definitely helpful. Well, what are your alternatives? Your alternatives are nothing. You fight the ship, get default rewards, a random crew member, or you can guarantee a crew member and scrap. I think for this event in context, this is exceptionally good. It's the best option for sure. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And again, we are back to Kazakh Pleth Kilik's bitch ass. So he, if you have a teleporter, it's kind of the same thing as the sensors. It allows you to teleport him back and continue with the rest of the quest. It pretty much does the exact same thing, so it's going to go here with the sensors. Okay, Merchant's Request. So we're back to Merchant's Request. If you have a teleporter, you lose one random crew member and he becomes an enemy. This is our first, potentially only, actually hurts you. This is like one of the very few blue events that is just outright bad. There is literally no benefit. You get nothing afterwards. It's just, you get finessed. So we finally have an actually hurts you augment for all those who've been watching for over an hour. Welcome to that. Okay. Rebel automated ship near sensor station. If you use a teleporter here, your map for the current sector is revealed. Alternatively, you fight the ship, and if you fight the ship, you get the current sector scans anyways. So I think this is pretty useless. Small asteroid belt, distress beacon. Okay. If you use a teleporter here, you can beam them aboard where you get a random crew member, or you can take them home where you get a high amount of scrap, medium amount of scrap, or you get some repairs depending on what happens. Generally pretty good rewards overall. Everything is pretty helpful. Especially this event has a lot of variability. It's the shield their ship with yours, where you can take damage, right? Get a little bit of scrap. Not amazing, really. But this event, I think, or the blue option, I think is pretty damn good. To maybe get a crew, to maybe get just scrap and various stuff. I'm gonna put it in pretty good, for sure. Okay. Small research station with no response. So if you use a teleporter on this event, you can lose. Oh wait, is this the same one? Yeah, this is the same, pretty much the same thing where you lose a random crew member and he becomes an enemy. Let me just make sure. But yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, well, we have another actually hurts you. Terrible. Okay, next we're on unencrypted communication channel with a teleporter. Right here. So if you use a teleporter, you can offer a solution to them, which gives you a quest. And that's pretty good because the quest allows you to get a high amount of scrap and a weapon. Or let's see, I'm just trying to read this here. Right. This is the one where you have to kill the crew without destroying the ship. If you can make that happen, you get a high amount of scrap and a weapon, which is amazing. But if you don't, then you get like nothing. You just take a bunch of damage. 15 hull damage, which is pretty insane. So if you know you can take out the crew with boarding or whatever, I mean, if you have a teleporter, you probably can. It's actually pretty good. I mean, getting a high amount of scrap down the line and a weapon is really good. So I think if you have a teleporter, you're probably going to be able to kill them anyways, right? So in this situation, it's pretty good. Exceptionally good, I mean. Okay, and finally for teleporter, we have Zoltan Trade Hub. So Zoltan Trade Hub here, you can beam directly onto the civilian deck, which, let's see here. You get a store, maybe you get a quest. Okay, it's pretty good. Alternatively, you can try to talk your way in where you get attacked by boarders or you get lucky. I think I mean, you do get to fight a ship if you quote-unquote fail. But I think being able to go directly in to get like a store and stuff like that is pretty good, definitely. Okay. Last bit of systems, we have the weapons control. So if you, in the distressed civilian ship chased by a pirate event, activate or fire a warning shot, you can fight the pirate ship, which you could have done anyways, or you can contact the civilian ship. This is pretty useless because you want to fight the ship, get the double rewards of blowing them up and the civilian ship. The civilian ship can run, but I imagine if you contact the ship, there's a chance that they're gone anyways. So you might as well fight the pirate ship, and that means that is pretty useless. Okay, merchant's request again. My goodness. If you... Where is it here? Remain silent, but power up your weapons with a level 6 weapon control or higher. You receive 55 to 70 scrap, 2 to 5 fuel, and lose 5 drone parts. It's a lot. If you need the drone parts again, but I mean, in the other situation, you made 40 to 55 scrap with the mind control and lost 5 drone parts. And this one, you get 55 to 70 scrap and 2 to 5 fuel. The drone parts, you got to accept the loss on that. This is better than the other merchant's request, which I think I put here somewhere. Let's see if I can decipher all of these damn words. Yeah, I'm going to put this up here, I think. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. You get a lot of stuff. Like 55 to 70, that's a lot of freaking scrap, dude. Plus the fuel. Okay, Pirate Smuggler. What do we got here? Activate your advanced weapons threateningly. This is what I was thinking of. So they will either bribe you, where you get a medium amount of scrap and fuel, or they will ignore, or you can ignore and fight them. Okay. I think it's good to actually do this because you can choose, once you activate your weapons, you can choose to fight them anyways if they give you a crappy bribe. But, you know, if they give you a good bribe, then you're good. Alternatively, you just have to fight them. So I think this is actually just always pretty good. It doesn't get you anything out of the ordinary, but it makes your life a lot easier and gets you a bit more choice in the event. Okay, Rock Nursery, what's next? So this is not actually in the game. Well, here's a little behind-the-scenes lore. You can fire a warning shot, which lets you fight a rock ship. I mean, pretty good, I guess. This isn't even the game. I didn't notice until now. But, cool. Commented out. All right. Moving on to weapons. We are getting so close. This is such a long-ass video. Hopefully, some of you guys are still watching. This might be the longest video on my channel. I did not expect it to take this long. Could have broken it up into 2 parts, but then you guys would have just had to wait, so I got you. Okay, with the weapons. Crushed Pirate using a beam weapon. Now, you can use the artillery beam as well. You can carefully cut the ship out. We've seen this event tons of times. You get a medium amount of scrap and resources, which is about the same you get from fighting a pirate ship, which is the alternative, or you get like some damage. So this is pretty good for sure. Okay. Giant alien spiders with the biobeam. I know you guys have been waiting for me to get to this one. You guys have totally... We got a lot of anti-biobeam apologists on the channel here, I've noticed. I'm just a hater. I don't know. My bad. Okay, but having said that, if you do have the anti-biobeam, you can get out pretty okay. This is the best alternative for the giant alien spiders event. You get a high amount of resources and some scrap. I mean, like... The alternative is just sadness on this event. So to be able to get this much good stuff out of it, if you have an anti-biobeam, is pretty awesome. So I think it's got to be exceptionally good. A high amount of scrap and resources is amazing, especially considering the context of the event where you get pretty much jack shit most of the time. Okay, unencrypted communication channel with the biobeam as well. This allows you to offer a solution, which again gets you a quest. And if you get that quest, then you get the scrap and the weapon. And again, if you have the biobeam, you can probably take out the crew without destroying the ship. So this is going to go next to this one. Pretty much the same deal. Pretty much the same deal. Now, okay, crystalline cache. If you have breach missiles, you can lose 1 missile and investigate the cache, which allows you to get some resources, a random crystal weapon. Also maybe get boarded, but that's not the end of the world. You can also lose a random crew member. This, honestly, it gets you more options. It pretty much guarantees that you get to investigate the cache. However, the cache itself is kind of dangerous. And if you don't have something like an improved teleporter or advanced engines, then you kind of have to roll the dice. But it's pretty good because without the blue event, it's just the dice roll to get nothing. So, okay, Mantis War Camp. So if you have a firebomb, You can teleport firebombs into their key structures, which allows you to get a high amount of resources and scrap and one NG crew member. This is exceptionally good. NG crew member, love to see it, and high resources and scrap. And it, I mean, it costs you 2 missiles, but like, dude, that's worth it, man. You can buy those missiles back with the scrap you get. So I think that's definitely exceptionally good. Okay, remote settlement with a firebomb. This allows you to lose 1 missile and receive a high amount of scrap and a drone schematic. The alternative, you just fight the ship. I think this is... Well, so here's the thing, right? You don't get the double rewards anymore. If you blow up the settlement, or you blow up the pirate ship, and then you get rewards from the station, you get a low amount of resources. I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. There's a lot to think about with this one. I think it's kind of an evil option because you blow up the settlers yourself. But I mean, dude, a high amount of scrap and a drone schematic, I think that's pretty good. I think there's other options for this event, so it's not always the best play. But I think it's pretty good. Okay, unencrypted communication channel. So if you use a firebomb, it's the solution again in the quest and the scrap and the weapon and all that. Firebomb is pretty okay at killing crew, so I guess it's exceptionally good as well. Like, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, I guess. All right, Firebeam on a remote settlement. It's kind of the same thing where you intimidate the settlers by burning them up. And you get pretty much the same thing, but it doesn't cost a missile. Now, 1 missile is not like the end of the world. So I don't think it bumps it up to exceptionally good. I think it's still pretty good. But okay. Healing Burst. So if you go to, let's see here. Federation ship in need of aid. If you use the Healing Burst on it, you lose a missile. You receive a random crew member with 1 skill and engines, a medium amount of scrap, and a quest marker is added, which lets you do the whole Federation base. That is actually surprisingly good. So I'm going to put that in an exceptional tier, because having the quest to be able to do after that is also awesome. Okay, malfunctioning defense system. We return to our favorite. With an ion weapon, you can disable it, where you get a high amount of scrap and resources. It's better than the cloaking alternative. It's better than the improved cloaking even. NG, it's about the same, but definitely pretty good. So this is going to go... Yeah, pretty good, I think. It's pretty good, definitely. It's a very top-heavy list, obviously, because, like I said at the start, most of these are pretty damn good. Okay, missile weapons. So if you have a missile weapon for the asteroid mining colony event, you... Oh, yeah, right. It doesn't do anything. They're like, sorry. They don't care. And then you can give them the 5 missiles or the 15. So it's actually useless. Not even like functionally useless. It is literally does nothing. And Mantis War Camp. Okay. Missile weapon. If you use a missile weapon, you can bombard their key structures and fight a Mantis ship, which you can do anyways. So it doesn't really do anything. I see. Okay. So when you get there, you are forced to leave, where there's a chance you fight the Mantis ship or you get away safely. This guarantees you get to fight the ship. That's actually pretty good then, because I would like to fight the ship. Cool. And our last weapon blue event, the Rock Live Mine, we return. If you use a missile weapon, your ship takes 4 hull damage and 1 damage to a random system. You lose 1 missile and receive a low amount of scrap. That's... I mean, so here's the thing, right? It gets you out of the potential of losing crew or blowing up your ship, which is what happens if you have to cut the wire. So that's good. You still guaranteed take damage and stuff, which is not great. So I'm going to put it in decent, because it does get you out of, like you don't lose a crew, right? I guess that's the main thing. So it's decent, but it's still not that good. The beam drone is still the best for the Where is it? Somewhere around here. Whatever. Somewhere around here. Okay. Finally, the last section we are on. The crew-related blue events. Starting off with Crystal Crew in the Ancient Device. Now, the Ancient Device is part of the unlock kind of secret crystal stuff, right? And you need the Crystal Crew to activate it, which takes you to the Crystal World. So, I mean, I guess it's exceptionally good. It lets you go to the sector if you don't have the crystal and you can't do this blue event. Then you've just failed in the quest and you're probably pissed off because you spent like 20 hours trying to unlock the Crystal Cruiser. So I guess it's exceptionally good. Okay, Crystal Civilian Question. Again, in the Crystal World, so pretty rare. But if you have them talk to your Crystal Crew, you receive a random amount of fuel and scrap. Alternatively, you can get like a fight or random stuff or a repair. Actually, not that bad. It's actually not that good. Like, it's a guaranteed reward, but it's like not that good of a reward necessarily. Yeah, I'll put it decent. Okay, Crystalline Cache, the Crystal Crew. So if you find this, we talked about the breach missiles already, but if you have a Crystal Crew, you can investigate the cache. It does pretty much the same thing, but it doesn't cost you a missile, and that allows you to do a bunch of other stuff, which is kind of contingent on having like a teleporter or something, because you can lose a crew. There's a lot of stuff that could go wrong here. So if you don't have the improved teleporter or advanced engines, it can be kind of risky to actually follow through with this. Where did I put the other crystalline cache? It's the breach missile, right? Here. I'm going to put it about the same thing. It gets you the exact same thing. It just doesn't cost a missile, which, again, isn't that big of a deal. Okay, NG Distress Call. So if you go here with an NG crew, you can receive a low amount of scrap and a weapon. Your ship is repaired for 10 hull damage, and a quest marker is added to your map. That is amazing. That is genuinely amazing. Exceptionally good. NG Fleet Discussion. This is what unlocks the stealth cruiser, or at least it is part of it. So if you come up across the fleet communicating, discussing, if you will, you can butt in, and they will give you a quest marker, which allows you to pull up on the... there's one fake ship, one real ship. You get the info. There's another quest, and that allows you to get the, potentially at least, get the stealth ship. And if you follow through all the way with this, you get stealth cruiser unlocked, unless you already have it, high amount of scrap and resources, and the titanium system casing augment, as well as 20 hull repair, which is like pretty much your full health, assuming you're not on death's door. This is just exceptionally good. It really is. Okay, malfunctioning defense system. The NG is just as good as the ion weapon, which we put somewhere. Here, right? Yeah. It does the exact same thing. Pretty good, definitely. Okay, Nebula Scene Ships Exchange Fire. We've seen this event before. So if you have an NG crew, you can... This is way down the line. You can say Abadoth, which is like the keyword that you got at the start of the quest. You get medium amount of scrap and resources. However, if you just remember in real life that the word was Abadoth, then it does nothing for you. So it's kind of useless, this specific blue event. If you didn't remember that the word was Abadoth, the password or whatever, then this is nice, but it doesn't do anything for you. It gives you the same amount of resources. It's just a matter of, are you an idiot? Did you remember it or not? So, pretty much useless. Okay, refugee ship trading for scrap. We pull this up here, and you have the NG crew. You negotiate a better deal. This is when you are out of fuel. So, normally you would get 3 fuel for 10 scrap, which isn't a terrible deal. But if you do this, you get 6 fuel for 10 scrap, which is pretty good. So I think that's, like I just said, pretty good in the context. All right, here we go. This is one we've all been waiting for. The actual NG Virus crew. This is one of my favorite events in the game. I think, even though realistically, yeah, this is really good. So if you lose an NG crew, but you then get him back as Virus, the Superman of all NG, all of his stats are fully kitted. And you still get to blow the ship up. You beat the NG ship, You get some rewards, random amount of scrap and resources, but also you get virus back. This is exceptionally good. Not to mention, it's just a fun event. I just like it. It's very cool. Love to see it. Okay, 2 smashed ships is next. So if you have an NG crew, this is the one where the weird there's like weird like sexual NG ship nonsense. It's kind of weird. Their business, quote unquote. But you get a random amount of resources and scrap. Alternatively, you pretty much get nothing. I mean, you could fight them. So it's up to you if you want to fight them. But getting the random amount without having to worry about any damage or anything is pretty good for sure. Okay. Unknown disease on the mining colony. We return to this event again. And you get a medium amount of scrap and some resources, which is pretty much the same as any other, unless you have the NG Medbot dispersal, which is very rare to have. So I think this is going to go next to the Medbay. Unknown diseases. I probably put it pretty good, huh? Let's see. Unknown. It would have been Medbay, huh? There we go. Okay. Nice. This next event is the only blue event in the entire game that humans actually can do. And all it does is it gets you a Mantis crewmate, which is okay. It's pretty good, but it's a testament to how relatively not... Oh, victory. Actually, victory. Damn, the humans pogging up. It's a testament to how humans are not really that useful most of the time. Okay. Lanius, civilian ship fleeing from Lanius as a banger of a song comes on. Okay. If you contact them with your Lanius crew, a store will open up. Alternatively, if you just try to contact them, maybe the store opens, maybe you fight them, or maybe nothing happens. Guaranteeing a store is pretty helpful. So I'm going to put it in pretty good. If you don't want the store, you can try to just fight them, but, you know. Okay, next up. Civilian vessel under fire from Lanius ship. If you have a Lanius crew, you can contact them or fight them, depending on what happens. And if you contact the civilian ship, you get a random crew member. Some other stuff might happen, right? But I think usually you just want to fight the Lanius ship. It's kind of the same deal as like the pirate one, right? Skipping the fight just misses you out on potential rewards that you don't really need to do. Okay, damaged Lanius absorbing a jump beacon with a Lanius crew will allow you. You can either give them 30 scrap, where you will get a random augment. You give them 6 missiles, where you get a random augment. Or you lose 6 drone parts and get a random augment. I think this is honestly exceptionally good. Mostly because, like, the alternative is you just lose 30 scrap for a random augment or get nothing. And this way you can choose what to give them instead of scrap. And generally when I play, I usually have a surplus of missiles and drone parts, so I would much rather spend those than the scrap. So in the context of the event, that's like amazing. Way better. Okay, Federation Science Craft docked with Lanius. So this one, you can copy your translator's data suite, which lets you receive either a random drone schematic, augment, or a random weapon. It's pretty good. If you don't do anything, or if you just ask them without the Lanius crew, there can be nothing happening. Medium scrap drone parts, medium scrap random weapon, which is okay. But I think a guarantee of a random, like, you know, drone, augment, or weapon is a little bit better. So I'm going to put that in pretty good. Okay. Lanius absorbing a rebel base. So you can use them to delay the rebels and get a medium standard rewards. Or you could fight them. I don't know. This one, if you fight the Lanius ship, you can get more scrap and stuff. One delay of the fleet is okay. I think low-key, most of the time it's better to... Well, it depends. I'm going to put it in decent. 1/3 of the time, nothing happens if you don't use the blue event. But the other 2/3, you either fight the Lanius ship or receive a medium amount of scrap and resources and the delay anyways. So yes, it guarantees it, which is decent. But fighting the Lanius ship can get you the rewards, and one delay is not that great. Sometimes it is, but... Okay, Lania is salvaging a small civilian craft. Okay, so if you do this, you can receive a medium amount of scrap. Nothing happens, or you can attack the ship. Doesn't even guarantee a reward. It's technically better, I guess, than not doing it. So I'm going to put it in decent, but the fact that there's still an option, like almost a 50% chance to just not get anything anyways, kind of ugly. Okay, Lanius Scavenger Trader. So if you ask for an alternative trade with your Lanius, you can... This is just a random event in an abandoned sector. Normally they offer fuel, or they offer scrap for fuel, or drone parts or missiles. This one you pretty much just get more scrap from whatever you end up trading them, so it's always worth it. So it's pretty good. It's like you just never should not do it if you have the option. Merchant ship docked with Lanius transport. Okay. I've said okay about a million times this video. Probably got mad repetitive. So, you can offer to help. I see. This is the one where you can give them X amount of scrap to craft an augment, craft a weapon, craft a drone schematic. If you have a Lanius crew, then it costs 10 less scrap for each possible option, whichever one you pick. Again, it's just a net positive. Doesn't give you anything new or different or exceptional, but it makes your life easier and you get more money, or you save more money rather. All right, powered down Lanius vessel. If you use your Lanius crew, you can receive a medium amount of scrap and resources. Otherwise, you just fight them, or you get a low amount of scrap. Okay, it's I don't know. Fighting the Lanius ship, you get either a medium or a high amount of scrap, guaranteed. Alternatively, so pretty much you're risking getting a low amount of scrap for getting the same amount of stuff. It's like you can get higher if you roll the dice, or you can just have a happy medium by using the Lanius crew. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Getting that guarantee is nice. Space station under construction. Okay. So if you have a Lanius crew, he can help, which... This is actually in a civilian sector. All right. So normally, you can give them... If we offer our help, you receive stuff and they give you the quest, and you can go do that, right? Or if you have a Lanius crew, you can have your crewman help, which means you lose your Lanius, but you get a high amount of scrap and an augment. So you can actually say our crew is not for sale, though, and you just get a medium amount of scrap. Losing the Lanius crew member, I hate losing crew member in all situations, even though he doesn't technically die. High amount of scrap and an augment is like pretty good. It depends on your situation. And I'm going to put it in decent because it's kind of that's a pretty heavy payoff, or trade-off rather. If you have a ton of crew and your Lanius is like just sitting around, then maybe you can do it, but it depends. All right, and the NG virus, you can actually do something with a Lanius crew as well. So you get a random amount of scrap and the drone reactor booster augment, kind of like with the hacking, which is decent. I still think you just getting virus is better. So I think I'll put this with, I don't even know where I put the hacking one. God, it'll be purple. Let's see. I feel like, here we go. And just, yeah. Okay. Same deal with that. Okay. Can't believe I found that. On to the Mantis crew member. We're getting near the end, guys. Hopefully you guys stuck around. Okay. So if you use the Mantis crew on the Confused Mantis, you're forced to kill him, unfortunately. You get a low amount of scrap and resources, which is not great. Generally, you will have one human crew on your ship at all times. Not always, right? But they're pretty common, and a lot of ships start with at least one. So you should always pick the human over the Mantis in this situation, if you have the option, obviously. I'm going to say this is decent. I mean... Well, yeah, it's decent. It gets you a safe out, but it's not a very good out. Okay, and this scumbag Kazakh Pleth Kilik is back. So having a Mantis crew gets you a fun little bit of dialogue at the start. where he does a bizarre alien haka dance with your crewmate, but it doesn't actually do anything. It just, you fight the ship anyway, so it's literally useless. But it is funny, and it is part of the quest, kind of. Okay, Mantis Commando. So if you have a Mantis crew, you can interrogate the Commando, where you get either your map is revealed or a medium amount of resources and scrap and a Mantis crew member. That's pretty good, honestly, because the alternative is just the alternatives aren't that bad. Pretty much the worst case, you get some 3 hull damage and 1 damage with a fire, which is not that bad, really. Get boarded by a Mantis. This is pretty good, honestly. If you can talk to him, the map reveal is less helpful. It's helpful, but getting the scrap and resources and a Mantis crew member is pretty good. Okay, slug oxygen malfunction. If you use your Mantis crew, you can oversee the repairs, where you get a high amount of scrap, which is pretty good because you don't get attacked, and it's like a guaranteed, right? Alternatively, you lose a crew member, you're attacked by 1 to 3 slug boarders, which is annoying. Or you get the high amount of scrap anyways, but getting the guaranteed with your Mantis crew member is definitely pretty good. So that'll go up there. Okay, on to Rockman crew members. So the Crystalline Research Facility is in the Hidden Crystal Worlds. If you use a Rock crew, they are very interested in their evolutionary cousin, and you get a medium amount of scrap and resources, which is decent. Alternatively, you could lose a crew member, which is obviously bad. So, but it doesn't, I don't know. Well, it gives you the best possible situation in this event, I would say. So it's got to be pretty good. Okay, Fire on Small Research Station. This is a classic event. Everybody's hit this one millions of times. Send your Rock crew member in to deal with the fire. You get a high amount of scrap and an augment. Spectacular. Genuinely exceptional. Okay, Mantis ship adorned with rock body parts again. If you have a Rock crew, you can put them on the comms and you just fight the Mantis ship, which doesn't really do anything because you can fight them anyways. So this is useless. Okay, Rock armored transport. If you have a Rock crew, you receive a high amount of scrap and resources. This is the one where they call you repugnant, sorry, and you fight them. But if you do this, you get a high amount of scrap and resources. Probably better than fighting them. So I think this is actually pretty good. Pretty good. And Slug Captain invites you to a drink. Always a funny event. If you have a Rock crew, you can have him pose as the captain in order to see if your drink was poisoned, pretty much. And you either get repaired for 10 hull points and a store opens, or you fight the slug ship. But that's not that bad, right? Alternatively, you lose a bunch of scrap. And yeah, so I think this is actually pretty good as well. Gonna go right up there. Unknown disease on the mining colony. You can send your Rock crew member in to prevent a riot. And if you do that, you receive a medium amount of scrap and some resources. Okay. That is pretty okay. It's pretty much the best you can get unless you have the Medbot dispersal again. So this will go with the NG crew calming down the infected, I think, which is somewhere around here. Unknown disease, yeah, right here. Okay. Pretty much the same deal. All right, final row. Shout out to me on Twitter. I got 32 followers. Let's go, boys. Okay, disabled Rock transport. Open this up. If you have a slug crew, you can check for life forms and keep a lookout for ships while looting the wreck. This will get you either a low amount of scrap and some resources, or also a low amount of scrap and resources. But if you don't do this, you get... Honestly, this is not that good. You can strip the ship, where you get a low amount of scrap and resources, same stuff. Or you get the low amount of scrap and resources and get to fight a Rock ship, meaning you get double rewards. That seems better in every possible way. So I don't know why you'd want to... Yeah, so this is actually kind of useless, not going to lie. Intelligent life form on a planet. So this is one with the horse-like animals. Absolute fan favorite. Slug crewmate can communicate telepathically, which gets you a guaranteed NG crew member. Pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. Merchant with conspicuous pirate markings. Okay. So the slug crew says, we can dock, but I sense that we better plan on making a purchase. This is the one where if you don't make a purchase, he gets mad and like blows you up or some nonsense like that. This is literally useless because if you know that with game knowledge, this is just, it just does nothing. Doesn't hurt you. Doesn't help you though. Nebula seen ships exchange fire. Again, the slug crew here can scan for survivors, which gives you the guarantee to assist the survivor. And if you choose to assist him, you can either get the quest or gain a crew member, which is always nice. So this is also pretty good. Poorly armed slug ship. Okay. Have your slug make the purchase. So this actually gets you 5 fuel, but you lose 15 scrap. This is, I believe, yeah, a fuel event if you're out of fuel. Which is okay. You can either get 5 fuel and 15 scrap normally, or you get 5 fuel and 15 scrap, but he steals 2 to 4 missiles and 20 to 35 scrap. So that's annoying. So this guarantees just safety, pretty much, and I think that's really what you want if you're out of fuel, so that's pretty good. Okay, single life form on Moon. Again, if you have a slug crew, I think he scans, yeah, he assesses his mental state, which lets you either not lose a crew or receive a human crew, which is good. So that's pretty good as well. It can pretty much just save you as well as maybe get you a reward. Okay, so here's the Slug Home Nebula Surrender, which is for the quest again. If you have a slug crew, it works the same as the sensors, allows you to fight the interceptor. So this is going to go with the improved sensors, which will be purple. I think that I put this in exceptionally good. Slug Home Nebula Surrender, right there. Hell yeah. Okay. Slug transport with military escort. Scroll back down. So he can sense something aboard the ship, which allows you to investigate and fight a slug ship so that you don't get boarded and you get hacked and all this stuff. Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff that can happen when you're talking to this guy, but if you have this slug crew, then you can get out of that with just a regular fight, which is definitely pretty good, I would say. All right, final 4. The Black Raven. So if you have a slug crew, you can engage in a duel of the mind, which you either get boarded by 1 to 2 slugs and you have to fight the Black Raven, or you just receive a high amount of scrap and a weapon, which is exceptionally good. So you're pretty much, when you get to this event, you're fighting the Black Raven anyways, or at least you want to. So being able to either, I mean, getting boarded is a bummer for sure, but it's not that bad. You can usually be all right. This has got to be exceptionally good. Getting high amount of scrap and a weapon, or being able to fight the ship anyways, still pretty good. Nice. Okay. Zoltan security checkpoint we have seen before, but with a slug crew, you can have them talk. You can talk them into letting you go, where you get a medium amount of fuel, which is pretty much the best case scenario here. The worst case, you lose a crew and all this, so that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Okay, Zoltan Trade Hub. If you have a Zoltan crew member. By the way, these are only 2 events if you have a Zoltan crew member, so there's actually a lot less than I thought. This allows you to lose 10 scrap by paying the entry fee or whatever, but you get to the store and maybe get a quest marker depending on what happens, which is, You lose 10 scrap. If you use the teleporter, you don't have to pay that. 10 scrap's obviously not that much, but it could be good. It depends. If this gets you to the quest, that's pretty good. But if it doesn't, then you don't have to do that. So I'm going to put it in decent because it doesn't guarantee. Like the store guarantee is nice, but it's yeah, I don't know. And finally, Federation Terraforming Team C12 with a Zoltan crew. If you use a Zoltan crew, you get a successful scan, which lets you get all the same benefits that the other one had. And that is somewhere here. Federation, if you have improved sensors, we gotta find it, man. Is it up here, maybe? Federation ship in need. There's too many. My goodness. I cannot seem to find it. Well, I guess we'll just, it gets you pretty good stuff, I guess, so we'll just put it up here. Yeah, whatever. I probably put the other one in a different place, and it's going to make it inconsistent, but whatever. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That is the biggest and most comprehensive FTL Faster Than Light blue event tier list of all time. That took a minute to make and a minute to create to begin with. So if you liked the list, if you liked, seeing where I rank stuff, just the FTL content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought. That was a lot of fun, honestly. It was really cool to see all the events. There are so many. I don't know. I never thought there were this many, but look at this beautiful rainbow. Let me zoom out a bit here, see if I can get it all. You can't really read that. There we go. I can't even read it on my own monitor. It's not going to do any good. All right. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Stick around. We got probably some more tier lists still coming. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.